it'll actually, it might give you, say, 20 trades for a month or whatever the amount is. Then you add another month, you'll get another 10 or 15 or whatever, and it'll slowly, incrementally build those trades up. Whereas sometimes with Tradestation, if you just automatically load the chart up, it might only grab, because it hasn't properly gone back and run the strategy properly, it might only grab, say, 10 trades. But you know that over 7 months it should have had 200. So have I made that clear on how I've explained it? So what you want to do is go in, format symbol, and if you are getting not enough data, just grab a month at a time or a couple of weeks at a time, and the strategy will then add a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to the actual data you've got. Now this is beans, soybeans. Now we've got this on an 89 tick chart, and it's produced over $8,000 worth of profit. Now this is another one. The advantage with this particular one that Mark sent through is that it's around about $55 per trade, so it's on the cusp of, that's good. You don't want it any lower than about $50 because remember, at the end of the game you've got to run a system with a positive expectancy. So things like brokerage, slippage will always chip away. So your goal as a trader managing these systems is to have a high, not necessarily a higher win rate, but you definitely want to have a high average trade net profit. You have to have that. Now, Mark always goes for the 40 to 50% win rate. So that's how he likes his strategies. And the beauty about this is that you can tweak this to your heart's content. So if you want to try to hit a slightly higher win rate, you could maybe bring your target in a little bit. If you want to go for a higher profit margin, then you might want to extend your target out a little bit. But obviously you're going to tweak that according to what you want to do. And yeah, the results are really good. I mean, the drawdown is around 1650s, 1870 intraday, and then closed out trade 1620. So that's great. So this is another one to track. It's got more trades in it. So as far as its performance, definitely one that you would put on the monitoring list because it's got over almost 150 trades. Very nice. So this one ahead of probably the yen futures, but I know from experience that the yen futures is definitely one you would seriously consider because it's a great time of the day for us. There is definitely good movement in the currency market and the yen futures. So I don't think that performance that we've got there for just the 70 trades is going to be an anomaly. I think it's going to be more the standard as we go forward. So definitely one to watch for. So guys, that was really what I wanted to cover today. The margin issue, I'll just quickly go through the margins for you because I didn't quite finish up on that, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was well aware of what the margins were for the different markets and the margin reduction we've had. So let me go through that again. The DAX margin now, you can get a 25% of your initial margin. So that's a reduction down to 3242, which is fantastic. The yen futures does have more volume than crude in the euro session. So comparatively, it's running with more volume than crude. So definitely tradable. Yeah. Let's have a look. Obviously, as it gets further and further into the day, that yen futures will pick up, and get much better volume. But the other thing I've got here is, now I'm just going to be doing a little bit of work on the S&P because the S&P, the Russell, and the Dow, because they're markets that have got massive liquidity, they've got great margin for Tradestation, and I'm sure I can get one of the strategies to be running well on those. So I'm going to be spending a little bit of time and effort working on those, and we're just going to perhaps add that as well because the margins there, according to Brooks, are much better, and I'll just give you those too. So he's just mentioning here that margins on the Dow, the Russell, and the S&P are 25% of the day trading margin. So the four markets that have got reduced margin on Tradestation for us, if you're trading them, are the Dow, the Russell, and the S&P, and the DAX. Gold and oil, they can't get the margins any lower according to Brooks. So that's a disadvantage, because obviously if you're looking to increase your contract size and you're trading gold and oil, they're the most expensive margins on the platform. So if you put an order on and you've already got an order on, then that's just doubling your margin up. So one thing I was going to add there too is that that if you are seriously looking at trading gold and oil and the DAX, those more expensive margined accounts, then you may want to consider going forward looking at the CFD provider that we're going to be, or the new broker that we're going to be kind of dealing with. But if you want to stay with automation, then obviously Tradestation, until we get the MT4 strategy coded up, then it'll be basically you'll be able to trade MT4. You can do it through ForexFS, but you'll be able to do it through a new broker as well. So guys, any questions there? Anybody have any questions, comments? I mean, my preference is that you avoid kind of manual trading and you stick with automation as much as possible, because that's the whole idea here. The whole idea is that we automated the systems. Our next step is to automate we're going to be automating the system performance tracker. So instead of you manually going through and typing all those figures in every day or checking them once a week, we're going to get to a point where we automate that process for you as well. So if you've got the system performance tracker and you're monitoring that, we're looking to build a browser product that will automate all that information for you, so it'll pop up with little alerts and tell you that it's time to go long, time to go short. And for example, that crude chart that we looked at earlier, that would be an automatic alert to the members saying, look, crude is currently in its drawdown. This system has hit its circuit breaker. However, keep an eye on the long side, because there's a long side bias. We've had a couple of winning trades. You need to monitor that, because that potentially is where you may want to be focusing your attention next. So that type of information is what we need to have coming in every day on our platform. So for example, with soybeans, we've got a little bit of a drawdown here. This was probably close to its max drawdown, or it was, just eyeballing it. But you can see there, it very quickly gets back into its trading again. So you probably would have turned the system back on based on that kind of profit that was had this week. So 405. So that would definitely be its drawdown there, then back into it. And that's what you want to be alerted to very quickly. If you stop trading a system, you want to have an alert flash up to say, right, back into this system, it's time to turn it on again. So guys, that's all I was going to do tonight. Just give you an update on I was going to give you an update on the systems, the actual performance of the systems, which I'll post up later tonight. I've done all those. So week 4. We've had a couple of lead changes on the board, so always interesting to see how the systems are tracking and performing. The blue ribbon ones, those ones that have been running well for 12 months, are still continuing to do exceptionally well. The 55 tick, the Euro, the cycle trader. So there's some really good strategies that are continuing to do exceptionally well, and they're just kind of motoring on nicely. So guys, that was about it for me. Nothing else to add there. As soon as that system performance tracker is finalised from Mike, I'll let you know about that. So that'll be an indicator, and then the next step from that will be to set it up as kind of a portal that you log into as part of the member site. We have another system that Adrian sent through that's getting coded up as well, which is a longer term strategy. So there's plenty going on, and we're making a couple of minor changes to the cycle trader just so it picks up better trades in the currency markets. and we're also making a couple of minor changes to the pullback strategy. So you'll probably get a few updates over the next couple of weeks and a few changes. But as I said, if we do have an update or a change, we'll do a training session on it so everybody's up to speed. So guys, thanks for your time. I'll upload these workspaces to the Kajabi dashboard, so you can, the members dashboard, so you can access those. And apart from that, any questions before I wrap it up?